Hello, melons and pineapples, mathematicians and philosophers, with sugar nuts and pistachios. Masters and princesses, what is going on? This is Peter from MNN, and you have joined us for our 17th tattoo, our 10th anniversary tour update for Band-Maid. They just had their show at Club Citta in Kawasaki in Japan, and it is their last show in Japan until September. Why? Because in August, I think you already know it's going to be a full month of a lot of Band-Maid in a lot of North America, not only the United States, because the last show will be at Mexico. Pretty exciting. All right, I was going to put this up last night, but by the time photos were up from Band-Maid and the set list was up, I was lying in bed half naked. More than that. Or not. Anyhow, so I'm putting it up now. It's a day late, but I'm sure you guys don't mind. I'm sure a lot of you already heard the news and saw pictures, but here's a little sort of tight little package of what went down. So yeah, it's not the 17th show. I think there have been more than that, but again, this is the last one in July. This was the 19th at Club Citta at Kawasaki. The capacity was 1,300. It was a pretty cool show. There was a photo. I don't know if you guys have seen that. I posted it in the Facebook group in Cafe. A big group photo showing a lot of camaraderie, a lot of love, a lot of history with not only Band-Maid, but with the fans and those who've been following, old and new. Our very own Hawk Metal, one of our very first interviews, and the man who is notorious for having really just sort of started the whole translating from Japanese to English and putting up set lists. He actually made a fan. How do I say this? He made a fan-made fan of Band-Maid. So a Band-Maid fan made a fan of Band-Maid. Yes. It's pretty cool. I would love one, but I don't know if I'll be able to get one. But yeah, the photo is up. You can check that out. Let's see, what else? I mean, it was definitely a hot show in every sense of the word. And let's just go straight into the actual set list. Let's go straight into that. Now, I'm going to put it up, and if you take a look, the songs in parentheses are the ones that have been replaced. But it's not like there's that many songs that have been replaced. They've just been kind of shuffled around. But 3 songs that were introduced last night, were Carry On Living, which I think a lot of you would love to hear live. They did Bubble, which I don't remember the last time I heard that one live. And then also a first since they actually sang it at Shibuya Line Cube back in February 2020. And this is Page. So the previous Okuji, they did Azure and they did Mirage, and now they're on Bubble and Page. So I'm wondering if this trend is actually going to continue into the States. Are we going to actually get a little bit of Rine or Blooming, or maybe even Flying High? That is something that has not been heard since Shibuya Line Cube either, and it's something I think a lot of us would love to hear. I think it's a favorite of a lot of people, along with YYY, which has never been sung, or at least outside of Tokyo Garden Theater. And then, I mean, tons of songs, right? Tons of songs. So, anyhow, that's pretty wild. You know, it's interesting that of all the bands out there, the one band that actually has a pigeon is unable to be pigeonholed. there's something ironic about that. You just cannot say this is how Band-Maid's going to do things, because they never do. They never go quite the way that you expect them to. And if they do, there's always a twist. So, and then instead of doing a little 3-stack of ballads, they actually did a full-on 4-stack. So they did Anemone, Memorable, Page, and Daydreaming. So I would imagine there were quite a few middle-aged men and young princesses who were just crying and just in tears by the end of it. So good stuff, good stuff. I'm quite excited, and the problem with Band-Maid being so able in pulling out just any number of songs from this discography, because they're all so good, is that it's constant FOMO, isn't it? It's like, well, I'll go to this show and I'll go to this show, and then the next show they play that one song that you always wanted to hear, and you won't hear it live because they did it when you weren't there. They knew you weren't going to be there, and they played it then. So, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, you guys can go ahead and take a look at the list, but yeah, good stuff. All right. Anyhow, during OH-AH-CHAN-AYE-YAI time, it kind of got turned and pulled over in a different direction and kind of became OH-AH-CHAN-AYE time. So it turns out that Akane decided to take over Miku's place and did a little moe moe kyun kyun gorilla style. And by the end of that, Miku was in pieces. She was just like, oh my gosh, why do you do this to me? But you know, all in good fun. It's interesting because Miku is completely willing to be the butt of the joke at every show for these sessions, for these OH-AH-CHAN-AYE-YAI times. But you know that she's not really the butt of the joke, at least behind the scenes. She's the mastermind. She's the one who's actually willing to do that. And it's always the ones who I think are the most confident, who are the most sure, and just who have such a great sense of humor and know just what to do. So it's cool that she does that. And if you look at this photo, it just kind of shows her continuing on what she began like on stage behind. So she really will go all out and do just about anything for the fans. So I appreciate Miku so much, and I know a lot of us do, so that's great. I do want to actually call out one thing that was really unfortunate that I saw on Twitter, is that there was a princess who was up towards the front, and there was a lot of compression, a lot of people pushing up, especially because it was a 1,300 capacity, not quite as small, so people were really trying to get up there. And unfortunately, some guy, to the point of, I think, pretty much sexual harassment, had his body up and pressed up against this girl. So I don't know if it was called out, if it was stopped, or if it continued. But I'm just hoping if at any show in the States, if anybody sees anything like that happening with one of the princesses, that we call that out, that we stop that, because that's just absolutely uncalled for, unnecessary, and just should not happen. So I hope we'll take care of each other, be good to each other, and really just respect, yeah, respect the maids, respect the princesses, respect each other. So that's what it's about. All right. Other than that, man, I am going to be home in 2 weeks. I will be in LA, and I will be at the Anaheim show. I forget exactly where SJ will be. It's 3 shows, including Anaheim. The other one is at Spokane and I think Portland. So yeah, hopefully, you know, either myself or SJ or the both of us will be able to see those of you out there. That'd be really cool, because we've been doing this now for, what is it, 8 months? And I feel like more of you guys know us. So it'd be cool if you guys kind of come up and just say hi, because we'd love to just hear from you and actually just shake hands, greet you, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I do want to thank a few people who did donate and contribute. This is the last time it's going to be mentioned. But Mike, Toshi, David, I want to thank you for contributing and helping to help me with my funds in going to the States. because of how weak the yen is. So I really appreciate that. You've helped me get close to $1,000. So I want to again thank everyone who contributed. If you still would like to contribute, and I am more than willing to accept, because of the situation, the email is below and you can PayPal me. Or Zelle is okay too. So that's being put out there. But other than that, you will not get another tattoo from us for about a couple of weeks. And there are different things that will come up. There are actually a couple of really short little introductory interviews with a couple of bands that I was able to see this past weekend, along with Sala doing her solo work. One of the bands is Majestina Saga. They're a bit of a gothic visual K band. They've been around for, my goodness, I think 10, 11 years. And they got some good stuff, so you can go in and check out their stuff. And then there's also a group called the She-Glapes, which is actually a riff off the Japanese pronunciation of sea grapes, She-Grapes, which I think is from Okinawa. And I saw an image of it, but I've never eaten it myself. But they're another really cool band. They delve into metal, but there's keys. They do like some of their music grabs from like the 20s, from the 50s, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of progressive stuff if you're into that. So I would check them out as well. And yeah, those videos will be coming up towards the end of this month. Okay. Other than that, I want to thank you guys so much for having kept up with us to this point with our tattoos and with the Japan shows. It will be turning over into the US tattoos, and then a final one for Mexico. And I really have no idea how these next US shows are going to go. I mean, people really are trying to go all out because it is the 10th anniversary. So if you guys are doing something, I mean, please share. If you guys want people to get involved, you can comment below. Maybe we can help out in some way, and we'd be willing to. Because if we can sort of just touch base, if we can grow this collective group of masters and princesses even closer together and do some great cool stuff for the maids, I mean, who isn't willing to do that? All right. So thank you so much. I hope you guys are enjoying the week. It is hot, and I probably lose more fluids from my body than I put in during the day, and I hate it. But we live on because there's always good stuff out there, just like Band-Maid. So thank you guys so much. I will see you again sometime, and I hope you guys are well. Keep on listening to Band-Maid. Thank you so much. This has been Peter from MNN. Bye-bye.